And good morning, welcome to Hot Seat. As promised, we're staying with the energy issue with former Energy Secretary here in Oklahoma, Ken Wagner. Good to see you.
Good to be here, thanks.
All right, had your predecessor on last week where we were talking about some things that most people think sounds like George Jetson, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But this week, the Attorney General of the state of Oklahoma says he wants to do an investigation into the prices of that winter storm in 2021. You were Energy Secretary at the time, so you were seeing what was happening in real time. Your thoughts about where this is all headed, and remind Oklahomans what started this all for the Attorney General to probe prices.
That's right. So it's a pretty interesting dynamic to see this Attorney General. So now there's actually been 3 Attorney Generals since Winter Storm Uri.
We had what was happened at that point after that was for these big prices so that customers weren't going to pay all these extraordinarily high bills of the securitization. You still think that was the best thing at the time?
I think it was the only thing to do at the time. I mean, we don't know if Attorney General Drummond will be successful in these lawsuits, and it'll play out over a period of years. You know, the Oklahomans needed relief. The federal government has yet to provide any substantial relief to Oklahoma. You know, we were talking about $4.5 billion of excess natural gas charges for a 10-day period. If those were to have been consolidated and charged to the customer immediately, it would have caused significant financial distress. And unfortunately, this was a tool that the Oklahoma Corporation Commission needed. Ultimately, they made the decision of what the best tool during the rate cases was to spread that out over time. And it seemed that I still believe that securitization is that best option. I think what's really important is that we put systems in place, that we understand the root cause of why that particular event happened, because we'll see another winter storm. We can't continue to have these charges and securitize into the future. I believe in securitization because it was a one-time event. I think we're well suited. You know, I think there's been a lot of addition of physical storage for gas, and I think that's really an important hedge to avoiding these problems in the future.
You're saying that a lot of the lessons from Winter Storm Uri, I believe it was called, have been taken into account and steps have been taken.
I would say steps are being taken, and certainly those lessons are real.
My final question is, we ended last week's hot seat with Secretary McQueen saying, look, we're going to have a serious discussion, and I think we, meaning society and public policy folks, about the future of nuclear energy here and in the United States and around the world. We saw the Germans do an about face. They were going to try to close down their nuclear plants, and then Vladimir came along. Your thoughts about, is nuclear going to be part of the future?
I absolutely do believe that. Now, the U.S. struggles a bit because we haven't built any conventional nuclear plants in 40 years. And so what happened is we had a drain of all that expertise and knowledge that went to Europe or has retired. And so now building up that workforce that can really produce advanced nuclear small modular reactors or even small conventional nuclear resources. But if you believe that the country needs to wean itself from carbon energy, or the world needs to wean itself off of you know, carbon-intense energies, hydrocarbons and fossil energy, then one of the only known ways to do that, reliable ways to do that, is through nuclear energy, fission. And I believe that the time has come for us to start doing it. I believe these projects are so big that it requires government to be involved, though.
Secretary Ken Wagner, thank you for coming in, discussing this with us. We've got been covering a lot and going to a lot in the future, I'm sure.
Thanks. Great to see you again.
Good to have you in. Thanks for watching Hot Seat. See us again at news9.com/yourvotecounts, and follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Threads at Mitchell Talks.